doctor is in.
Okay.
Was never an option.
Copy that. Deploying. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. Roger. Will do. Nothing to it. Confirmed. I'm on it. You're on. Nothing to it. You're on. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. Confirmed. I'm on it. Roger. Deploying. Okay. Will do. Copy that. Nothing to it. Deploying. Will do. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. You're on. I'm on it. Confirmed. Roger. Copy that. Okay. Nothing to it. Confirmed. Roger. Okay. Yes, sir. Deploying. Confirmed. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Roger. Deploying. Nothing to it. Copy that. You're on. Confirmed. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Nothing to... Give it a sit rep. Confirmed. Yes, sir. Roger. Will do. Yes, sir. Nothing to it. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Will do. You're on. Okay. Deploying. I'm on it. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Nothing to it. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. Yes, sir. Copy that. Confirmed. Roger. Will do. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Copy that. Roger. I'm on it. Deploying. Confirmed. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Okay. Roger. Nothing to it. Okay. Nothing to it. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. Nothing to it. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Copy that. Confirmed. Will do. Nothing to it. Roger. You're on. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Roger. Okay. Confirmed. Deploying. Copy that. Nothing to it. Okay. that. Sounds like a plan. Okay. I'm on it. Copy that. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Okay. Deploying. Copy that. Yes, sir. Will do. Deploying. Copy that. Roger. Will do. Nothing to it. Yes. You're on. Will do. Deploying. Okay. I'm on it. Yes, sir. Confirmed. Will do. Nothing to it. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. You're on. I'm on it. Okay. Roger. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Okay. You're on. Copy that. Nothing to it. Roger. Sounds like a plan. Okay. You're on. Will do. Roger. Solo operative. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Roger. Confirmed. Roger. I'm on it. You're on. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Nothing to it. You're on. Okay. Will do. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Confirmed. Will do. You're on. Copy that. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Okay. Will do. Copy that. Roger. Nothing to it. I'm on it. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Okay. Will do. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. I'm on it. Roger. You're on. Yes, sir. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Copy that. I'm on it. Deploying. Will do. You're on. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Deploying. Okay. Roger. I'm on it. Will do. You're on. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Roger. Will do. Nothing to it. Deploying. Copy that. You're on. I'm on it. Roger. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. You're on. I'm on it. Will do. Roger. Confirmed. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Will do. Copy that. Deploying. Roger. Confirmed. Will do. Nothing to it. to it. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. You're on. Deploying. Okay. I'm on it. Roger. Nothing to it. Confirmed. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Will do. Roger. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. Will do. Nothing to it. Roger. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Nothing to it. Roger. Deploying. Confirmed. Will do. I'm on it. You're on. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Copy that. Confirmed. Will do. You're on. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Deploying. Copy that. I'm on it. Okay. Yes, sir. You're on. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Copy that. Will do. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Copy that. Roger. Okay. I'm on it. Yes, sir. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Will do. I'm on it. Confirmed. Okay. Will do. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Confirmed. Okay. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Roger. Copy that. I'm on it. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Yes, sir. Nothing to it. Confirmed. Will do. I'm on it. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Okay. Deploying. Will do. Roger. Sounds like a plan. I'm on it. Will do. Sounds like a plan. Roger. I'm on it. Deploying. Roger. Will do. You're on. Sounds like a plan. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. You're on. Roger. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Copy that. Yes, sir. Confirmed. Roger. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. Nothing to it. I'm on it. Will do. You're on. Yes, sir. Copy that. Okay. You're on. Nothing to it. I'm on it. Confirmed. Will do. You're on. Yes, sir. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Will do. Roger. Deploying. Nothing to it. Okay. Copy that. I'm on it. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Deploying. Confirmed. Yes, sir. Okay. You're on. Copy that. Confirmed. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. Okay. Roger. You're on. I'm on it. Will do. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. Okay. You're on. Will do. Roger. Deploying. Nothing to it. I'm on it. Okay. You're on. Will do. Roger. Nothing to it. Confirmed. I'm on it. Will do. Yes, sir. Copy that. Okay. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Confirmed. Okay. I'm on it. Deploying. Will do. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. Confirmed. Deploying. Yes, sir. Nothing to it. Sounds like a plan. I'm on it. Confirmed. You're on. Deploying. Confirmed. Yes, sir. Copy that. Will do. Deploying. Okay. You're on. Confirmed. Deploying. Okay. Roger. Nothing to it. Deploying. Okay. Confirmed. Sounds like a plan. Roger. Yes, sir. Okay. You're on. Copy that. Confirmed. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Deploying. Will do. Roger. You're on. Confirmed. Nothing to it. I'm on it. Yes, sir. Okay. Deploying. Roger. You're on. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Copy that. I'm on it. Nothing to it. Will do. Deploying. Confirmed. Yes, sir. Confirmed. Will do. Copy that. Deploying. Nothing to it. Roger. Deploying. Sounds like a... Okay. Confirmed. Will do. You're on. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Copy that. I'm on it. Okay. Copy that. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. Copy that. Will do. Roger. Deploying. You're on. Will do. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. to it. You're on. I'm on it. Confirmed. Okay. Yes, sir. Will do. Okay. Confirmed. Copy that. Roger. Will do. You're on. Yes, sir. Nothing to it. Okay. Roger. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Will do. Deploying. I'm on it. Nothing to it. I'm on it. Roger. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. I'm on it. Will do. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. I'm on it. Confirmed. Deploying. Will do. Confirmed. Will do. Yes, sir. Roger. Confirmed. Okay. Copy that. Roger. I'm on it. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Will do. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. Roger. Deploying. Confirmed. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Confirmed. You're on. I'm on it. Copy that. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. Confirmed. I'm on it. Confirmed. Will do. Confirmed. I'm on it. Will do. Nothing to it. Okay. Yes, sir. Deploying. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Roger. Confirmed. I'm on it. Roger. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. You're on. I'm on it. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. You're on. Copy that. Roger. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. I'm on it. Copy that. Will do. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Sounds like a plan. Will do. Roger. Deploying. Confirmed. Copy that. I'm on it. Confirmed. Roger. Nothing to it. Sounds like a plan. Copy that. Okay. Confirmed. Will do. You're on. Roger. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. Okay. Copy that. Will do. Confirmed. You're on. Deploying. I'm on it. Copy that. Confirmed. Nothing to it. You're on. I'm on it. Copy that. Okay. Will do. Deploying. Yes, sir. Roger. Confirmed. I'm on it. Roger. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Copy that. You're on. Confirmed. Copy that. Okay. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Deploying. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Deploying. Yes, sir. Will do. Copy that. Deploying. Nothing to it. Okay. Roger. Confirmed. Will do. Deploying. You're on. Copy that. I'm on it. Okay. Deploying. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. I'm on it. Copy that. Confirmed. Yes, sir. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Yes, sir. Deploying. Will do. Confirmed. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Roger. Okay. Yes, sir. Come again. I'm on it. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Roger. Nothing to it. Copy that. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Will do. Deploying. Roger. Sounds like a plan. Copy that. You're on. Will do. Confirmed. I'm on it. Will do. Sounds like a plan. Roger. I'm on it. Deploying. Copy that. Confirmed. I'm on it. Nothing to it. Deploying. Will do. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Copy that. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Yes, sir. Nothing to it. Will do. Roger. You're on. Confirmed. Okay. I'm on it. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Will do. Nothing to it. Roger. I'm on it. Copy that. You're on. Okay. Confirmed. Nothing to it. Deploying. Okay. You're on. Will do. I'm on it. Sounds like a plan. Copy that. Will do. Sounds like a plan. Who won? Give me the sit rep. Will do. Copy that. Sounds like a plan. Confirmed. I'm on it. Confirmed. Will do. Confirmed. Yes, sir. Copy that. Confirmed. Roger. to it. Deploying. Will do. Roger. Yes, sir. Confirmed. I'm on it. Nothing to it. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Will do. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan. Will do. Sounds like a plan. Nothing to it. Sounds like a plan. Who wants some?
Fail.